Hello everyone, welcome back to the Arun Sharma Mindworks channel, and in the series of videos that I'm doing with you, you're watching, a lot of you are watching those videos. I'm bringing you selection criteria for various institutes. I've already done IIM XLR, FMS, and this is the fourth institute I'm doing today, IIM Kozhikode. So IIM Kozhikode is the institute we're looking at. One of the 6 Blackie institutes: Bangalore, Lucknow, Ahmedabad, Calcutta, Lucknow, Kozhikode, and Indore. It's called one of the Blackie institutes. So first of all, what are the selection eligibility criteria? I mean, at what percentages in 10 to 12 can you actually think about getting to IIM Kozhikode? So that's good news again for all of you who have not done so well at your graduation scores or your 10, 12 levels. The good news is class 10 percentage requirement is for the general category 60% only, and OBC also is 60%, and class 12 also. I'll just move here so that you can see this. Class 12 also, it's 60%. So you have 61-62% in 10th and 12th. You can actually apply, and you can hope to get a call if the other things go your way. What are those other things? Will come to that. The other factors, minimum eligibility criteria. This is where you qualify stage 1 and you come into the candidate pool they'll consider. And please remember, this is stage 1, this is not a call. It's very clearly written on the IIM Kozhikode website that if you clear stage 1, it does not mean that you're getting a call. And the sectional percentile, you have to get 75 percentile overall in each section, and you have to get an 85 percentile overall. Overall, if you're a general candidate for the various categories, you can see this, and it's self-explanatory there, so I don't need to run you through that. So that's when you start getting considered, okay, this is a guy I'll look at and I'll calculate his selection criteria score. So the next thing that you get to, if you pass through stage 1, and what are the things that will disqualify you? You have 59% in 10th, you can't hope to get to IIM Kozhikode. You got a 58% in 12th, 90% in 10th, 58% in 12th, hota hai kuch logon ka, you can't get through. You have a 99 percentile overall, but a 74 percentile in one section, you will be disqualified. So you have to make sure that you qualify all the section cutoffs in CAT. That's part of it. And then coming to the third point, stage 2 is the selection criteria. So once you come into that candidate pool who will be considered, you have 4 factors on which they will calculate your criteria, score criteria for selection, and that is the CAT 2019 index score. We'll just come and explain these scores, what they mean. The CAT class 10th percentage score, the CAT 2019 index score has 45%, of course, for CAT 20, for the 21-23 batch. This will move to CAT 20, the latest CAT, this thing. If you're going to the 22-24 batch, because this video will be available later, this will move to 21, and if they make some changes to this, we'll of course update it on our website and on our YouTube channels. So 30% for class 10 percentage score, class 12 percentage score is a 15% weightage. So 10th and 12th dono milake, the weightage is equal to CAT, and gender diversity, academic diversity is 10%. So what are these things and how they calculate it is the next thing we look at, right? So first of all, the CAT index scores. So what they say for the CAT index scores is that the scale scores from the scores from the 3 sections with equal weightages of CAT, now 20 again here, will be considered for the computation of the CAT index score, right? Now they have not told us, I mean, of course, equal weightage means each of the section has a 1/3 weightage. So I'm assuming that if your scale score is 30 in one section and 40 in second section and 35 or 36 in the third section, your CAT index score might work out to 1/3 into 30 plus 1/3 into 40 plus 1/3 into 36. It's kind of a weighted score. So that would be your CAT index score, which will get a 45% weightage in your final calculations of whether you're getting selected for IIM Kozhikode interview call or not, right? So that's the next point. That's how the CAT index score is calculated. And then big news again, very important news for all of you on this slide. Have a good read of this slide. I'll of course explain it to you. Have a good read of this slide. I'll of course explain it to you. तो इस स्लाइड में एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट बात बोला है दो important बातें हैं इस slide में which you need to understand. The first is that the percentage of marks obtained in your 10th, this is for 10th standard calculation. So percentage of marks obtained for 10th is based on all subjects that appear in the mark sheet. So this is one thing that they give you complete clarity about. It's not like कि तुमने best of 4 डाल दिया, best of 5 डाल दिया, तुम्हारे mark sheet में 6 subject है तो 6 यूज होंगे for your percentage calculation. But then very significantly, and this is something which is very very good that IIM Kozhikode does, which other IIMs unfortunately, a lot of the other IIMs, specifically the top ones, have not caught on to. I don't know why. Is what you read next here, right? So if you look at what you read next here, the SSC class 10th oblique equivalent percentage score are first adjusted by dividing each score by the highest percentage score obtained in the board. And then that adjusted score is multiplied by 30. What does this make? This thing is almost turning into a points class. But this is good news for you, so I wanted to explain this to you. Specifically those of you, a lot of people come to me and ask me, मैं तो सर बिहार board का हूँ, I came from the Karnataka board, and our board, in the state board, they don't give marks. And it's unfair that the topper of CBSE gets 95%. 10 CGPA will convert to 95%, and a topper in a state board gets 82%. And they compare a 77% in this exam to a 77% in this exam. Obviously, this guy is much better performance-wise than this guy in the context of how the marks are given. So you need to understand one thing, that IIM Kozhikode actually takes care of this issue. How does it take care of this issue? Let me just show you. So what they have said is that they will look at your board and they look at all the candidates who applied from your board. So suppose you are a Karnataka board student or a UP board student, and all of you who are from UP board again know that UP board में marks कम मिलते हैं थोड़ा से, वो CBSE type marking नहीं होता है. So you are a UP board student, ठीक है, and you got let's say 76% marks in your exam. And the topper, and what they do is they look at all UP board applicants for IIM Kozhikode. So for CAT 2020, CAT 21-23 selection, they look at the CAT 20 applicants, CAT 19 applicants for the last 3 years, including the current year, and the CAT 18 applicants. What they'll do is they'll create the entire pool of applicants in the last 3 years to IIM Kozhikode, not to CAT, to IIM Kozhikode. That means people have applied for CAT and filled IIM Kozhikode, which will be more or less the same thing. तो नहीं तो नहीं भरेगा IIM Kozhikode को. इनका एक बॉक्स बनाएंगे और इसमें सॉर्ट करेंगे सबसे बड़ा परसेंटेज क्या है. What is the highest percentage inside this? So if the highest percentage in this application pool is 80 and you got a 76, then your adjusted percentage score is 76 out of 80. Right? So you get 19 out of 20. Which means you get 95.95 as your adjusted score. Parallelly, let's say a CBSE or an ICSE board student where the topper is 95%, and there's a student who's got a 90, and the last 3 years the highest guy is 95. So this guy will just get 18 by 19, which is just slightly higher than 19 by 20, I guess, right? So it's going to be around, slightly actually lower. 18 by 19 will be around 0.94. This will be the adjusted score that this guy will get at 90% from the CBSE board, or a board which gives higher marks. And then what they do is they multiply this number by 30. So this gives you a class 10th weighted score. So if you have this scenario, you will get 28.5 as your weighted score. This is the good thing they do, and they do the same thing for the class 12 because they recognize that different boards give different marks. So they do the same thing for class 12. The only thing is once you get your adjusted score for class 12, once you identify or once you get your adjusted score for class 12 it's multiplied by 15 to get the score that you put into the final formula. That's the third point. And the fourth point is the diversity weightage, and they basically have marks are awarded for gender academic diversity. So only female candidates, of course, will get gender diversity score. So that's to encourage female participation at the batches. And a candidate with or pursuing a bachelor's degree or equivalent in a discipline other than engineering and technology. So you are in a course which is other than engineering and technology. So that means you're a BCom student, a BA student, a chartered accountant, whatever non-engineering field that you're from. You will get a gender or academic diversity score of 10. Right? Now, those of you who are GEMs, general engineer males, which is supposed to be a backward, you don't need to get very worried about this, because these four scores are then put into the final formula. And what is the final formula? Let's work it out with logic. What they'll do is your CAT index score will get multiplied by 0.45 because there's a 45% weightage on that. The CAT index score gets multiplied by 0.45. The 10 standard adjusted score and into 30 will get multiplied by whatever score you scored through that formula in class 10, you will get multiplied by 0.3. Whatever score you scored with that formula in class 12, you will get multiplied by 0.15. And if you are getting a gender diversity score of 10, and they say that gender diversity, you cannot get both gender and academic diversity. So you'll only get one of them. So, and the maximum you can get is 10. So if you do not belong, if you are GEM, general and engineer and male, you will neither get gender diversity nor academic diversity. So how many points are you behind? It's got a weightage of 10%. You are behind with just one mark. It's not like इनको 10 mark ऊपर दे दिया तुमसे, right? So which obviously you are expected to cover in your CAT performance, in your CAT index score. So that 0.1 can easily be converted there. And it's basically they do these things to actually balance the batch a little bit. Otherwise, if they have a very engineering oriented batch, तो classroom discussions थोड़ा poor हो जाता है, because there's only one kind of thinking in those kind of batches. So an MBA course, I can tell you from my own experience, is a very discussion oriented course. It's a very group participation oriented course. So B schools are very conscious about what kind of group they are getting in. And then one more very important news again, which I have not put in here, but let me try to see. I'll just go to a blank slide. Yeah, this is almost blank. So one more very important news that you need to understand about IIM Kozhikode is what do they do in the final selection. The final selection, the weightages are 35%, 35%, 20%, and 10%. And this is 4 things where academics does not come into the picture. So this is your CAT index score. This is your interview performance. This is your other parts of the interview process. And this is for your profile. These are marks for your profile. So I'll do a separate video for the final selection of IIM Kozhikode once we reach that point. But the key point I wanted to talk about here is that there are no marks for 10th or 12th score for the final shot, for the final merit list. Which means if you crack the interview, if you reach the interview, then your 10, 12 marks are out of the game. They are not looking at it. Apart from, of course, giving you some marks for profile there. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. Please share the videos. Please like the channel. Please subscribe so that we can go ahead further in our journey with a lot of enthusiasm and more energy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.